Welcome to the Dice Tower, a series of video reviews about board and card games. Here are your hosts.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Winter Spectacular. I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Stephen Bonacore.
I'm Chris Yee.
I'm Camilla Cleghorn.
And we're taking a look today, a live Foursquare review of Foundations of Rome. But before we take a look at this, there's a contest going on where you can win a $30 gift certificate from Game Nerds. Great online gaming store. You can get a copy of that. It's probably not enough to get a copy of Foundations of Rome, but you could probably buy something to help you lift weight so that you could pick up the box.
Are you trying to hide behind the
Yeah, you're really
box?
selling the game here.
Well, he can hide behind the box of Ticket to Ride. Anyhow, so to enter that contest, email us at contest@dicetower.com. In the subject line, put the word Frosty, the snowman.
Snowman.
Or the delicious dish from Wendy's.
You're thinking of Frosty the Reindeer, Tom.
You know, they used to have a caramel Frosty at Wendy's, and they stopped making it. I'm very annoyed about that. It was really delicious.
I didn't even know about that.
It was a seasonal thing.
I would go there.
Seasonal stuff should not be allowed.
Agreed.
Because it's always delicious, and then it's gone. All right, Foundations of Rome.
I like the pumpkin caramel macchiato stuff.
This
From
is
Wendy's?
a giant game
from Starbucks.
from Emerson Matsuuchi and Arcade
Venti.
Wonders. It's part of the Dice Tower
Like a
Essentials
venti
line.
Frosty, please.
Realized throughout this review that I was involved with this to some degree as it came about. I did not expect it to be quite so large. In fact, you're seeing the front of it. This is the side. It's a very huge game, which young men can't pick up.
Thank you for calling me up.
I insulted you and complimented you at the same time.
Essentially, this
That's
is
the
one
backhand right there.
full Calyx shelf
Do you think you
cube.
can get it out though? Like, 'cause I can see it would fit. Could you get like fingers in there to? Like,
Yes, you can.
You can? Okay, all right.
But it's
All right.
It requires an
It's not-
apparatus with straps.
it's not easy.
Okay.
And I have fairly fat fingers, but well, we'll test later with you. Anyhow, let's talk about how the game plays, and we'll come back and give you our thoughts. The game is played on a grid, two sides of the board. This side is used for the 4 or 5 players. The purple and the red are used for that. And you're going to have a deck of cards that match on the grid. At the beginning of the game, each player is going to get some coordinates, and they're going to place ownership markers on them. So at the beginning of the game, you're going to have all the properties here on the board. This is a setup for a 4-player game, and they're going to have these. Again, that shows that you control that property. Each player has their own whole setup board. Everyone has the exact same board with different kinds of buildings. You have residential buildings, you have civic buildings, and you have commercial buildings, as well as your markers and these special little monument markers. So players are going to have these buildings. They're going to have their handful of cards. You just keep this card somewhere, so in case the board gets shuffled, you know which properties you control. And then there's another board that's going to determine the flow of the game. On a player's turn, they have 3 different things that they can do. One of them is to purchase a lot. You start with 6, but you can purchase more. You can have up to 8 lots at any given point in time. And you simply pay the cost here in money over it. So this would be 6 money, and then you'd pay that, and then all the cards would slide down. You put a new one here. I buy this one, they slide down, I put it here. When this deck of cards runs out, and then all these cards are gone, that ends the round, and you're going to proceed to scoring. As you take lots, you're trying to put lots next to your other lots if possible, so G8 would be a good one maybe for red to take, but you are limited by your 8 that you have on the board. So you might want to put more buildings on the board as an action. You can go to any of your buildings or any of the monument buildings, which I'll show you later, and you can put it where it might go. So I can take this single building here, take this lot off the board, put it back in my supply, and put that. Or I have 2 next to each other, so I could put this one here. You can even later on replace a smaller building, putting it back on your board with a larger building, as long as you own the areas to put them on. Now, as you're placing these buildings on the board, they're going to be giving you benefits. Population buildings, these here, are simply going to raise your population marker on the track by the number that it shows on the building. These buildings, the commercial buildings, are going to give you more money. See, your third action that you can take is simply to take coins. Whenever you do that, you'll take 5 coins plus the number of the buildings that you have on the board. You don't need to go around and count them because your box underneath, once you take the building out, you see So for example, if I take a coin action, I'm getting 10 coins. 5 plus 2, 4, 5 more because I put those building out. Civic buildings don't do anything for you initially. They score during the scoring round. You can also optionally play, and you should always play, with monuments, and you'll choose a certain number of monuments, and each of them, they're bigger, giant buildings that any player can build. And if you build them, you put one of your markers in to show that it's yours, and they give you special bonuses, but they also might have special requirements to build them as you put them on the board. At the end of an era, when the cards run out, players are going to do their scoring. Commercial buildings are going to give you points equal to whatever is underneath them. So if I was that red player that I showed you earlier, they're going to get the points that are listed here. So this one's worth 3 points, and this one's worth 3 points. And you keep track on this point track here. Players are going to get points for civic buildings based on the buildings that they're next to. So for example, this building here gives you 1 point for every other building it's next to, even if it's someone else's building. Some give you points for being next to citizens, coins, civic buildings, etc. Then you're going to get points for your population. Whoever has the highest population is going to score points to that number. In this case, it would be purple, would get 8 points, plus the population bonus of the round. So it's 4 points, 7 points, and 10 points that you'll get. Then the next highest, in this case 6, gets points equal to where highest is. So green would get 8, blue would get 6, red would get 2, yellow doesn't get any because they never got onto the board. So you'll keep track of these victory points up here, and you'll go again. This happens through all 3 eras. The only difference is in final scoring, you get points for the empty lots that you never put buildings in. Seeing a little bit here of just how gorgeous these pieces are. I mean, these are 3D models. They all come in boards. They're all going to have a plastic lid placed on them, like shown here, and then they are all slid into a box. The deluxe version also comes with a pile of extra pieces here that are all listed in the rule book for different modules. So it gives you some information about the different monuments that are in the game. It also shows you happily how to put everything back into each of the different sections, which is useful. But like I said, there's different modules here. A cooperative module, I haven't played that yet. The objectives module, a module for sealing, and monuments is technically its own module, but like I said, I really feel like you should always play with the monuments. Okay, so realize this is this is an early copy. I know they're washing some copies of the things. I saw that. It hasn't shipped yet. It's a bear to ship this thing.
You don't say.
We got to talk about
I
that
think there's
first
like
of all.
5 copies in the world.
The component qualities, yeah, there's very few. The component quality of this is both amazing, daunting, and not for everybody.
Right.
Well, this is so even the base game is like $100, isn't that right? And that it comes with like 4 players, and then for X amount more, you get the 5th player plus more monuments, and then for more, you can get a what do they call that? The sun drop.
Well, anyway, it doesn't really matter because it was a Kickstarter game, so this is not going to retail.
Not going to retail specifically.
Okay.
But we're talking about it like I like this a lot, but this doesn't go to game night very often because
I think it
Right.
does.
I have a game bag.
I think it does. Just like that, you lug it in. 1 game.
You couldn't hold it earlier.
But I'm working on getting stronger so I can actually carry this game. But anyway.
So you said that you would put this in your bag, and it's the 1 game that fits in your bag, and it's worth it for that. Do you consider this a main game of the night? This would be your game night game.
Should we start with that kind of commentary? But the answer is yes.
Okay, yeah.
The answer is yes.
I can see this as a game. I mean, it's not that long. It's an hour at most, usually, right?
I'm gonna give away a little bit here. This was good.
Oh wow! Wow!
Spoilers.
This is like
Stop the presses!
Bonacor says it's good. All right. How do you want to go?
No, I'm talking about. Here's the thing. It's clearly overproduced. Okay, we're not gonna pretend otherwise.
Yes.
I gotta say though, I like the buildings. I like the look of it on the board.
Right.
I think they did a good job with those. I can instantly tell what almost every building does. We have to look up the monuments if you play with them.
Yeah.
But the rest of the buildings I like the player trays, and when you take a building off, It shows you what you get from that. There's one minor thing I don't like about the production, besides the gigantic size of it. I don't like these trays, the little tokens that you put on the board. They're little
the ones that you put
like
on the monument,
control markers?
or the ones you
Both
put
of them.
initially.
Oh, okay.
There's a
Okay.
little plastic piece that comes in that goes on top of those. If that's not in there right, those fall out every time.
Oh, I
me
didn't
show
have that
you.
problem.
They
Okay.
fall out of.
Pull out of each player tray.
Oh, come on.
They're a mess.
Oh, come on.
with
They're a
That-
mess.
So you
yeah.
immediately, as you take the thing out and you get it all ready to play.
I just said it was a minor
It's
thing.
literally, you put this on the table, you're ready to start now the game.
gotta
After you
organize
clean up.
those.
Right, after you
Right.
clean up.
Again, I said
You spend
minor thing.
$160 for a customized tray that doesn't
That doesn't, right.
doesn't quite do its job. That is a letdown.
It's irrelevant, everyone out there. Irrelevant.
So
But I mean, if you spent that much time on the components, on the custom trays, as we said, and then it doesn't function properly,
There's
that is a little bit. It's
but there's
just
a little
bit,
plastic
but-
piece that goes on top of them to hold them in place. I just found that little extra plastic piece to be annoying.
Okay.
Oh, so this is a Tom Vassell mistake.
That's why I said it's really minor.
So here's what I'll say about the production of this game is that I personally disagree with this on a fundamental level. I would never own this game. This is ridiculous. In terms of the gameplay, though, what I would prefer is if the monuments were the cool minis and everything, and
Look at
if they could stand out as monuments. You accomplished something huge. You built a fantastic monument, right? Your latrine does not need to be the same size as the monument that you build, or your little level 1 bank. It makes everything feel less special when everything is as ludicrously overproduced as it is. And then I also want to say, someone's going to argue about the word overproduced. We'll talk about that in a minute as well.
We will?
Yes.
Okay, well,
I'm gonna talk
yeah,
about it.
because I was going to argue that, actually. That's where I was going. So I did not think about that with the with the monuments
segue.
not feeling as special or spectacular when you build them. And I can definitely see that. I think I had not thought of that, and I would agree with it. But I think overproduced is getting thrown around and is going to get thrown around with this. But I don't think I consider it overproduced because I think that I would not want to play a, we'll say, tile version of this. I think the overproduction, the production to me of it, is what makes me want to play it.
She thinks
that
it's
is the
underproduced.
selling. Under. I need more.
So,
Go ahead. Yeah, please.
so 100%, of course it's overproduced. I mean, by definition, this is an overproduced
But is
game.
it overproduced? Okay,
But,
carry on.
but completely disagreeing with the fact that your, not latrine, they don't have that, but whatever, your your population
It's an
building,
expansion.
they don't have the latrines in there.
soon.
But you're like, your residential building, which is small, sitting next to the Coliseum, it's not to scale exactly, but it looks phenomenal. And as you're collectively building this in front of everybody, it looks astonishing. We'll talk about gameplay in a second. And sure, as Camilla implied, if you're playing with tiles, just flat, what do you call the polyomino tiles, it wouldn't look nearly as interesting and would also look very hard to distinguish buildings, I think, if they're just flat pieces. It looks great and just as phenomenal. No, does everybody want a Calyx cubed game like this? No, but
All right, well, Chris,
It's-
what were you going to say? I really want to know what
honestly.
Chris was going to say.
So the thing about overproduction is I think that this game is really fun. You can play this game in 45 minutes. I love I love games that have a grid. I love games that you can kind of map things out and build them up. I like polyomino things. But I thought about bringing this home this week to play it one more time before this review, and it was too daunting. That, for me, is when a game goes from really nice production, and I do appreciate a good production, to overproduce, is when it gets in the way of me saying, let me pull this one off the shelf. This one is sitting here free, available to me to play whenever I want, and I chose
Not
not
anymore.
to even bring it home.
But what's daunting?
And I
about
chose
it?
not to.
Are you kidding? Come on now.
What define the word daunting to me? What is daunt? I mean, the game is humongous, but what's
Right.
daunting? The play. I taught the game at the retreat.
That's not what
I
he's
don't
talking
teach-
about. He's
And
talking
we're all
about
very
the-
proud of you.
Yeah. So, listen, Tom. No, I don't. I mean, daunting to me sound like Twilight Imperium 4th edition is a daunting
All right,
game.
he's talking about production, and you know that.
Right.
But I don't.
But
I
the
wouldn't
production
use
doesn't
that.
match the gameplay. I love the gameplay actually. But
All right.
okay, we're gonna
But if you
fill
took
up
that
the
production
whole table.
out of it, I think the experience significantly suffers because of it.
Yes.
No. All right. This is where I'm going to come in because I played this game on paper
Okay.
tokens and stuff when Emerson was first designing it and showing us Dice Art Essential, and I loved the game. I think the production elevates it, but I want to be really careful here because some people, I've already said in the chat, and I know it's going to come across that way, that if it wasn't nicely produced, that this would be an okay game.
No.
I think this game is really fun, despite whether it's great production or not.
Yes.
So I think the buildings and everything look great, but if it was with tiles, I still love the game. I love the whole real simple decision. Draft a card, put something out, or play a building. Draft a card, take money, play a building. Really simple decisions, and yet it feels very interactive. It feels fun. It has a little bit of acquire with the things out there. I love the gameplay. I want to be really clear on that.
Well, yeah, and I guess to that point as well, not docking the gameplay, but I don't think I would want to play the game because every building is unique. Whether it's population, whether it's the civilian ones, whatever, they're all unique. So I can't imagine being on paper or being on tiles that organization because of this production of it. And you have this tray, you can clearly see what does what. If you were just handed a bag full of tiles, all right, let me organize my tiles. Where does the one do the what? It would just be that to me would be much more daunting than the size that this brings.
But what did you guys think of the gameplay?
All right, now we get the gameplay. Who's going first? Who's
Chris
got the
first.
lowest numbers? Would you go with?
No.
That's what
Chris,
you. All right.
no,
So gameplay-wise, it's good, right? Or it has familiar notes. You're talking about Acquire. Instantly, I thought of New York 1901, another game similar to this where you have to get plots of land, and I like that a lot. I like the little sliding market of cards where you're buying up the different spots of the grid, hopefully trying to make a really nice sized thing that's going to fit this building I want to build out there because it's going to give me these bonuses and stuff. Some of these other games are much simpler. This game manages to be quick and not too much, but also you're building up an income engine, you're building up a victory point engine, and so I do like that part a lot. I think that what that offers is a little bit more unique than some of the other games, like the New York 1901s and stuff.
One of the games I compared it to in my head was Century.
Okay.
Because Century has those real quick decisions like this game does. Take something, do this, card sliding in Century. I don't know, I felt some similarities to that.
Okay, yeah, got the card river or whatever you want to call
Also,
it.
it's the same designer, so that's probably why.
I thought Acquire meets was it Princess of
Princess
Florence?
of Florence.
That's a terrible comparison. This is why he only reviews a few games. But all right, yes. What did you think of the gameplay?
I loved it. I absolutely loved the gameplay. Trying to move off of the production, of course. The acquire portion of the game, I think, is fantastic as implemented, where you're grabbing the lots and you're grabbing a lot that you have enough money to afford. But gosh, I need that one up there on the chart. It's going to cost me 16 now, but so I'll take an income action. So therefore, and hopefully a couple people grab some of the lower ones. Then I can grab with the money. That works so well. The population track is. I'm so happy that Emerson put that in the game, where population doesn't mean a lot sometimes in the game, but you can't fall too far behind, or if everyone's rushing up on the population track, you're still going to get this big population.
Yeah, you just need
from
to
the
get
next
one
person.
then. Who cares?
Just get one. The dynamic there is very interesting, and sometimes you just want, I'm so close to being in front of that first person, you just jump in first, you get the first, and you get the extra bonus each area. I love the whole population thing. Then there's the area control portion of it. So as you can tell, I really like this, and I love the production. Sorry.
I know he liked it because I taught it to him, and then I kept turning around, and he kept playing it.
I think I played it 4 times at the retreat, at least 3 times.
Now there's a bunch of I haven't played all the modules. I would like to try some more of the modules. There's the one I'm a little worried about trying is the trading.
Yeah, I would not.
I don't know if I want to bring that into this game. I think some people might like it better, but I think it might make the game it would double the length.
That would be
Double the length
Right,
of the game.
yeah.
If you could trade.
I didn't see how
So there's a module
trading
you
works.
can.
I heard about it.
I can be just like, hey, I'll give you B4 if you give me $3 and C7. And you're like, that would really lengthen the game.
It would have to
out.
be very streamlined to take, if you can't do it in like 3 seconds or 5 seconds.
But
or
I do
10
like,
seconds.
I mentioned the monuments is technically not in the base game. I'll never play without it.
You need the
I
monuments.
didn't know that.
You need
Yeah,
the monuments.
I would want the monuments. I didn't
Otherwise,
realize
it's
that wasn't base.
it's so symmetrical without the monuments. Everyone's got
Right.
exactly the same stuff. The monuments really just add that extra, like, the Colosseum is so cool for what I'm doing. And you plop this big thing down.
Did you feel like the game was mean enough? Like you could take a property someone else wants.
I did. I feel like it's a perfect amount of mean because you can do a little. Because there's a little bit of that, like, this kind of helps me, but it really helps them, so therefore I'm going to take it. But I think one of my favorite things was once I have something, it's mine. No one's taking it. It's mine, and it's precious, and I'm not giving it up. It's mine.
And if you make too many decisions of like, I'm going to take that from you so you don't have it, I have a lot of disparate plots that do nothing for me.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So long term, it doesn't help. So I think it was the perfect balance of mean versus focus on yourself.
Tom
Keep your eye
keen
your
on
own
being
board.
mean to me
Okay,
the whole
first of all,
time.
you could have taken the property. I let it go around once. I let it go around twice.
Keyed on being mean to me and counter drafting my property lots.
Yeah. Gameplay-wise, I want to say, I think my favorite thing about it, gameplay-wise, was just the simplicity. Like, on your turn, there's, only 3 things you can do? And I love that. I think just it's very streamlined in its rules. It's really easy to teach. Pretty much anyone can pick it up. Even a non-gamer, maybe a little bit more nudging and helping of them. But I really think it's on the lighter side of games, which makes it very approachable. But then they feel like they got this huge experience because it is grandiose and large and tactile, and so you get a gamer experience with somebody who can only handle or is only ready for a lighter experience, or people that just prefer lighter games. Gamers that prefer lighter games. So I think it really makes itself really accessible with that. And then I mean, we've all talked about the market. Those tough decisions of like, okay, I'm going to pass this turn so I can get money because that one card I need hasn't come out yet. So timing your turns right, but also not leaving things in the market too long that you really want. That someone might kind of do that hate buying, I guess, And so I think it also makes for very interesting decisions with your limited choices, the market, the way it comes out. I think it's really interesting, but still maintains its lightness, it's ease of entry, I'll say.
Very approachable games.
And any game where you have like a pass action, you're like, that's a wasted turn, but I got a pile of money.
Right, and it's a significant
good. Every
amount.
Every turn feels like you're progressing, which is good.
The pass action is I mean, I did it usually, like you said, that's a negative thing in a game. It's like, it's the pass turn. No, because I feel like that pass action sets you up not just for one. It's not a placeholder. It really does set you up multiple turns, and when you take it in the round, makes a difference.
And every coin you get is important.
Right.
So if you get 8 more coins, look at all those things I can now buy. So it's so critical to pass or just to take a commerce. Isn't it called commerce action or something like that? It's called pass? Okay.
I don't think it's called pass.
It's
no.
not, it's
commerce.
more
Okay,
thematic than
functionally,
that.
yeah.
Right.
Functionally, you're just taking money.
I'm not building, I'm not getting plot of land, but
I'm taking a pot of money.
I'm taking the bank.
All right, Chris, what's your final thoughts and rating?
There's a lot to digest because I love this gameplay. I really do. I think the game should come in a box about the quarter of this size. I cannot humanly recommend this to another person, right? Because of just this production. Like I said, if I have the feeling of I have access to this right now, right? Last night I could have taken it home, played it with my wife, enjoyed a nice, pleasant 2-player game of it, but I just think I don't want to deal with just the load of the carrying it and just the table space of it all. That is what I mean by daunting. Someone in the chat was saying, like, well, what do you mean by daunting? That's what I mean. It's a weird mental load. I'm giving this game a 6.5 because I enjoy the gameplay so much, and I absolutely disagree with the form factor of it. I think it's just ridiculous.
By
But
the way-
man, it's fun.
By the way, this is, again, just to put it in perspective, this is 6 times the size of a Ticket to Ride box, right? Standard box, Ticket to Ride, 6 Ticket to Ride boxes.
Okay.
No.
Yeah,
No?
it is.
No, it
5
is
or
not.
6. I measured it. I took a Ticket to Ride box and I measured it.
You're terrible at measurements.
It's 5, maybe it's
He
5.
measured it, Tom.
Okay,
He measured
go ahead.
it.
Go
I
ahead.
meant like it.
What do you got?
5 times the size of a
What's your
Ticket.
opinions and rating? 11? 11? Is that what I'm hearing?
Put it up. Put the number up. Survey said 11.
No.
I was just kidding.
What?
11.
What?
Okay, so 10.
Get to an 11.
It's a 10. I told Roy to put 11 up there because it was funny. It is.
I can't believe I said 11.
Yes!
It was an 11.
It really is.
Survey
Oh my
says.
God.
There we go. Thank you. He's the best. So no. So it is to me like a perfect game. I'm sorry, Chris. I'm sorry we have such a dissonance
Don't
here.
be sorry.
Well, I am.
And I think a lot of people
told him to
will
slash your tire.
absolutely agree with you, and I think a lot of people will agree with me, and there's no wrong in that.
There's no
Right.
wrong.
No,
That's
of
the
course
great
not.
thing about the hobby. Sure. Is this game for
Stop,
everybody?
pull back, and talk about the game. You're about to go on a hobby thing.
I'm going to say, is this game for everybody? The answer is no. I mean, how many games at a $100+ price point can any human being have? It's just kind of hard. The gameplay here is just so solid. First time I played it, I said, wow, this is a really good game, and the production's crazy. I played it second time, I said, oh my God, this is a really good game, and the production is crazy. So I immediately said I had to have this game for those reasons. It's going to look great. You can play it with anybody, as we've been saying, and bring it out. You can almost play it with grandma. You can certainly play it with fairly young kids, easily down to 8. The game is solid on every level. Love it. Will be in my collection forever.
All right.
An 11. This one goes to
Let's take a look at
11.
my rating. Is it an 11?
No.
No, it's a 9. I really do like this game. I was in the thought process about the size of the box, okay? Full disclosure, I said make it a smaller box. However, it was decided to make it the bigger box. I'm not upset about that. I really do like how it looks. Yes, I agree with Chris. I can't just throw this and carry it around. But I can have it at my house. Some games I want to be big. I don't want every game to be giant. But I like this one, and the Rome itself looks awesome. But taking all that out of the picture, this is one of my favorite games by gameplay. I think Emerson is one of the best designers on the market to make games that have really fast decisions that feel meaningful. And you know what? Way back in the day, there was a game called Big City, which was a city building with the plastic pieces. And it's not that great of a game. It's okay. But it was elevated by those cool buildings. These buildings beat up the big city buildings and make them cry mercy. And it's
Much better.
also a good game. That's a good combo for me. So I really like the game. Foundation's wrong, but also realize I have a part of the game. So thanks, Tire Essential. So keep that in mind.
Keep it in mind.
Awesome. Well, I really like the game. I think the gameplay is very streamlined. I really enjoy that part of it. And I think for me, what sells this game is that, again, just the number of groups that it fits. You know, I can take it to experienced gamers who prefer light games. I can take it to inexperienced games who want an experience. So I gave it a 7.5. What pulled it down for me was it's just not really in my wheelhouse. You know, like it's a game that I would take
It's too
to
nice.
game. Pretty much, yeah. No, not enough blood. So
Are you like lots of conflict?
We'll talk. I
Okay.
do, but I'm very particular with
What
my
if there was a
Interesting.
backstabbing Caesar expansion?
Yes, make it.
I like that idea.
An 11. No. So I really like that this is a game that I would take knowing a play group to a play group, but it's not one that I'd be like, I really want to play this game. You know, so this, I think, my rating is so high because I think it is so great. It's so low because it's not specifically my type of game, if that makes sense. And so I settled somewhere, you know, right there in the middle. Definitely would recommend it. I don't have a problem with the size because I think the size is what brings the experience and which allows it to reach so many people. So this is a game that I would not want a smaller box because I want everything that comes in this size box. So if this is a game I'm going to get and to reach all those people, it's worth it. It is worth a full Calyx cube. So
Ooh,
7.5.
That's how we measure games now.
It's
it
worth
worth
a
it?
Calyx
Is it worth
cube.
half a Calyx cube?
I do kind of measure games in shelf space because we are limited to that, and that's
Yeah.
that's
That's a legitimate
everyone's
thing.
different on what their storage is and what their tastes are. Absolutely.
Right.
Alrighty, well that's Foundations of Rome. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Stephen Bonacore.
I'm Chris Yee.
And I'm Camilla Cleghorn. Thanks for coming.
Let's keep moving.
I'm Rebecca.
And I'm Hunter, and this is the Family Showdown! Howdy folks, welcome to our top 10 2021 games that play in an hour or less. We're calling it our short games. But short is subjective, so but we're considering an hour or less. Maybe you think short game is 15 minutes, but for our video, it's games to play in about an hour or less. All right, you can jump right in?
We're jumping right in.
Jump right in with my number 10. Let's find out what it is. It's on my handy dandy list right here. My number 10 is The Crew Mission Deep Sea. So we got to try The Crew at the Dice Tower Retreat. We enjoyed it quite a bit. We liked the original Crew quite a bit, but this one we actually like better. Well, at least I do. I don't know, maybe she does. I don't know. I like it better because seems more streamlined. It seems more like you can just jump in and it's not as convoluted. It seems like it's a better design overall. You can get more games in quickly. It has the missions that you can do just like in the previous one, but this one kind of caters to just jumping in and playing, which I enjoyed.
Absolutely. My number 10 is a little Kickstarter game called Blabble. And in this one, you get a little dictionary with some nonsense words, and everyone else has their own unique language of nonsense words. But everyone's got some language that kind of overlaps. It sounds really similar. The goal is to try to build a building using only your language and see if y'all can decipher it. It's a lot of fun. Requires quite a bit of attentiveness to what other people are saying. I love Blabble.
That game might be so obscure Z might not even heard of it.
Doesn't mean it's not a good one.
All right. My number 9 is Kokopelli. Kokopelli is the latest from Stefan Feld. Stefan Feld, right?
Yes, indeed. Indeed.
Doesn't seem like a Stefan Feld game. This one you have a tableau of cards and you're trying to complete, I guess, goals. But what's interesting about it is you actually can play off your neighbor's sets of cards and you actually utilize them to score victory points. So it's kind of a timing thing. And they give you superpowers, but when you complete the sets, the superpower goes away. So it's kind of how long do you want to keep the power before you upgrade it for victory points. Great game.
That is a lot of fun. My number 9 is Picture Perfect. This is such a great game. It looked like it was going to be just almost too light and kind of simplistic, but it's got a whole lot of game going on in it. It's like they took a game of Clue and made it crazy. So now you're trying to make this nice, big, grandiose picture, but everybody has their own requests. I want to stand by so-and-so, or I don't want to be seen, or I want to stand in the front, or I want to stand to the side. Everybody's picky, but you don't know all of their information. They all have like their info and their preferences inside Clue-like envelopes. And there's some bidding you can do and different things to try to get this information from other players because everybody has their own little packet of information. And meanwhile, you're trying to guess and set up your tables in the best possible way so that you can get the maximum amount of points from each individual involved with the picture.
It's sure interesting that you have it as your number 9. We might talk about this a little bit later. My number 8 is Floriferous. Floriferous. That. So yeah, this game it's a kind of a sequel of sorts to Herbaceous. It has a similar feel to it, but this one you're drafting cards kind of out of a grid. You have to choose between drafting cards that's going to give you points at the end of the game, the kind of scoring cards, or drafting the actual cards that you use to score those points. So it's got a smooth little flow to it. It's a nice light little float away game. I don't know. Friendly little light game that I actually enjoyed. I don't normally enjoy the super light games, but I really liked that one. So Floriferous.
Quite lovely. My number 8 is Summer Camp. This is a fantastic welcoming deck builder game with a cool summer camp theme. There's a high variability to play with this one because you choose what kind of camp activities you are, which aka they're the different types of decks that you can mix and match to set up your game. So you have things like, crafts and things like that. And that's a certain type of deck that has certain abilities within it because they all do a little bit different things. Meanwhile, you're trying to get all the way through a path through the camp and, of course, obtain the victory. It is so fun. It's such a cute theme. And it's a lot of fun and a great way to introduce people to deck building.
Yeah, great welcoming game. All right, so we're already on to our number 7, or at least my number 7. My number 7 is King Domino Origins.
Dun, dun, dun.
So this is another game in the King Domino series. This one I enjoy probably better than all of them because this one has some resource management. You have a little more control over how you score points. But it has that same King Domino feel, the way you draft the tiles and you put the tiles in and you build regions just like the other games. This one has resource management. It has some kind of objective cards that you're shooting for. There's like 3 different ways to play this one, which is interesting as well. I really enjoyed it. Again, it's probably my favorite of all the King Domino games so far.
I may have some opinions about that later.
What?
So we're on to number 7 already.
7.
You know what's funny? You already mentioned my number 7.
Did I?
Yeah. My number 7 is The Crew.
Oh.
Mission Deep Sea. I guess I like it a little bit more than you. So this cooperative trick-taking, surprisingly awesome. We liked The Crew the first time around, but this Mission Deep Sea, just a smoother play. It seems like it's easier to dive right in, pun intended, and just be able to go for it. And I love the way it's set up. It's a lot of fun. So if you never played The Crew or you played The Crew and enjoyed it, either way, you really need to try this game out. I think it is going to be a huge hit.
Yep. Good one. Good one. Already on to number 6. My number 6 is Red Rising. Red Rising is, I guess, a more gamery version of Fantasy Realms. So if you ever played Fantasy Realms, it's kind of built off that game system. You're drafting cards through various means. You're going to eventually build a hand of cards that you're into the game with. You're going to score a bunch of points based on how the cards interact with each other in a hand. But beyond that, it also has stuff going on the board. You're building up you're on up a fleet track, I think it's called. There's some area control that you can do. There's a token that you can get that passes kind of back and forth depending on what you do, and that gives you kind of a superpower. So it's like Fantasy Realms Plus, and I enjoyed Fantasy Realms. We just recently got to play that, and this one I think is even better because it's got so much more going on, more decisions to make.
You're not required to read the book to enjoy that game either, which is nice. But if you have read the books, I think you'll find it just a little bit extra exciting just because you're going to recognize characters' names and some of the possible interactions that you can do with the cards will make a lot more sense.
Cool.
So it's a good one. That's a good pick. All right. So my number 6 is Juicy Fruits. Now, this one was kind of a surprise game for me. I thought the idea sounded cute, like the name sounded, I don't know, it reminded me of gum or something, right?
Right.
But what you're doing is you've got these tiles on the board, and it's almost like one of those slider puzzles. That's what it reminds me of. Because you're taking the tiles, and as you move the fruits around, you get more fruit depending on how far you can move the tiles. Well, you're getting all these fruits, and you want to use those to pay for these contracts that are along the sides of your board to give you more room so that you can get more fruit to fulfill more contracts to get those more victory points. It's so much fun though, and it's just, I don't know, it's very fun to mess with the really cool wooden painted, they're just really brightly colored little fruit-shaped bits and trading those in and out and manipulating your board. It was really engaging and fun, and I look forward to playing that one again.
Yeah, I find it interesting that there's kind of victory point buildings you can buy that you put on your board, but then it locks up your space.
Yeah.
It's kind of a give and take. Do you want to go for those, but then limit the amount of movement you have on your board? I found that really interesting.
It was fun.
All right, let's move on to my number 5. My number 5 is Llama Land. Llama Land. So this is the kind of the more, I don't know, more advanced, but kind of a variant of Gingerbread House. If you ever played it, Phil Walker Harding originally made Gingerbread House. This one uses the same kind of tile stacking system, but this one's got a little bit more going on in terms of you're building these tiles out, you're building levels and expanding your board, and you have all these goal cards you're going for. You're basically trying to get different kinds of llamas, and you also have achievements that you can buy into that you have to do different things. Maybe you need to have a certain number of level 5 things, and llamas need to be in certain places or certain distances apart. Yeah. So it kind of a slightly more advanced version of Gingerbread House, maybe not too much more advanced. But I loved it. I loved how the achievements worked and how the game flowed, and how you start off with basically nothing and you build out this big, like, massive llama land. So that's my number 5.
The art was cute too.
Llama Land.
My number 5, you're stealing on my thunder. You already mentioned this one too for me.
Okay.
King Domino Origins. You've heard of King Domino, you've heard of Queen Domino, but have you heard of the historical prequel?
Yeah.
Origins. So this is back in the way back. But somehow, even though it's way back, it's way more complicated. I got nothing. But anyway, so yeah, you take dominoes, and then you got Queen Domino, you got some game, and then you've got King Domino Origins, and this is like the heavy duty. It fits all the boxes, checks all the boxes for you because, like he was mentioning, you've got 3 different ways you can play this game. So you're not going to get bored with it. You're not going to get to where you feel like you've got it figured out nearly as quickly because you can play this so much longer than the other games and start to figure out which way and which version of the game you like to play best. So that is just, I can't really say much more than what you've already said. It brings like that game with the resource management, and it's just fascinating to see that interplay. It was a really fun game. So King Domino Origins in under an hour, no less.
Yes, under an hour.
Under an hour.
All right, so we're on to 4s, right?
We are.
My number 4 is Bad Company. Now, before you give me grief, there's all the complaints that this isn't available. You can actually buy this directly from the publisher in France. I forgot the publisher's name. Flew out of my head. Anyway.
I'm sure you'll pop it in here somewhere.
It'll be down here at the bottom somewhere. Anyway, you can get it directly from the publisher, and he'll mail it to you, but it's crazy expensive because you got to ship it from
But that counts, apparently.
It counts. I'm counting it. So my number 4 is Bad Company. So Bad Company is I don't know how to put it other than a space-based variant. If you've played space-based, it'll seem very familiar to you. You have a row of cards numbered from 1. You only get 2 to 11 in this game, and then 1 and 12 are specific actions that you take in the game. But basically, you're rolling dice. You roll 2 sets of dice instead of 1, and you're making the active player makes 2 pairs of dice out of those 4 dice. So maybe they make a 7 and a 4, and then they decide what to do with those. They activate the 4 and the 7, and you get benefits from that. Meanwhile, the other people around the table, like in Space-Based, get a benefit. They pick one of those 2 sets to activate. And what are you doing in this game? So you're running from the cops. So you're a bunch of robbers, a gang people. You're trying to flee the cops. So you're moving a little car meeple thing on a board, trying to stay ahead of the cops towards the end of the game.
That's pretty fun.
Meanwhile, you're recruiting new people into your gang. You're upgrading your cards. You're doing resource management. There's all these other things going on. So it's like space-based plus. So I love this more than space-based. That's why it's so high up on my list. I enjoyed this one quite a bit. Hopefully, I read that it's probably may never make it to the States. That's the rumor. So if you're wanting this one, you might, and you really want to try it, either grab it at a convention that has it, or throw out the extra money for the crazy shipping cost to get it shipped to the U.S. But if you're over in Europe, then you don't have that problem. So that is my number 4 available 2021, Bad Company.
All right. So my number 4 is another outdoorsy kind of game called Trails. So this one is an action selection game, and you're taking a nice little hike, day hike, evening hike, going back and forth on this trail. Meanwhile, you're doing the action selection movement. So you're going through the trail. You cannot backtrack. You're only moving forward. So you got to make your choices wisely. And as you're doing that, you're collecting different resources, and then you're using these resources to get, to purchase badges and things like that, which of course give you your victory points, is how you win the game. I just love the way that it's got this nice little natural theme. The little bits for this game are great, and it packs a lot of fun in a tiny little box. It's a tiny little box, and it's such a really good game. And it's again, it seems like a lot of game for under an hour.
Right.
Especially in a tiny box. It's like the best package. You could throw this in a bag or a purse easily and just take it somewhere to play. It's a lot of fun. Cute outdoorsy theme. It's fun to teach people how to do the motion, the walking back and forth, getting the special abilities, what you get to do on each tile, and relatively easy to teach as well.
Yeah. So if you like parks, this one will seem very familiar to you.
Yeah.
I think it's more streamlined and easier to teach than Parks, which Parks isn't that hard of a game to teach, but this one's even kind of easier than that, easier to
and more
play.
portable.
More portable. They're about the same size.
Under an hour.
A little bit smaller. It's a good one.
Smaller.
It's a good one.
It's more portable.
It's good. Yes. All right. My number three is Hadrian's Wall. So Hadrian's Wall is a roll and write game, kind of. You're not really rolling anything, but you're basically getting all these meeples, and you're taking those meeples and you're spending them to mark off boxes that you would in a roll and write game. This one is super heavy for a roll and write. This isn't you roll a 3 and you mark off a 3. It's you got purple meeples and blue meeples and white meeples and black meeples, and you're using those meeples to get this box, and that box gives you a white meeple, and use that meeple to get this other thing. You're just doing all these transactions with all your meeples. You're trying to utilize them as best you can. You have all these different tracks you're moving up. There's all these different areas that you can put influence in or mark in. There's markets and gladiators fighting, and you're building walls and all sorts of fun stuff. This one is just in general, do not like roll and writes, and I loved Hadrian's Wall. It was right up my alley. I loved the efficiency puzzle of using your meeples as best you can to extend your turn out as far as you can and accomplish as much as you can in that, I think it's 5 rounds, 5 years or decades. 5 rounds you go over. And you have to defend against attackers. It's so cool. I love this game. I was pleasantly surprised. I do not like roll and writes, but I do like Hadrian's Wall.
It's pretty awesome. You're almost as excited about that as I am about my number 3, which is Canvas. You want a pretty game. Oh, do I have a game for you? So Canvas is in that wonderful realm of card crafting. So you might have heard of Mystic Veil before. This one takes that card crafting mechanism, but does a completely different spin on it. Now you're going in and drafting these cards that have, a certain part is painted in, or it's got a title and this and that on it, and you're putting them all together to make a unique piece of art that is your own. Now, at the very bottom of these cards, though, they also have different symbols and emblems and little boxes that you can check, because there are random cards that'll be set out at the beginning of the game that give you awards, and you get awards, aka victory points, for being able to check off as many of these boxes as possible. So they might say, have a purple diamond and red square or something at the bottom of the card, okay? So you want to make sure that those things are in your painting, and lo and behold, oh look, I've won at least 2 ribbons. And they even come with cute little baby easels that you have, and you put up and you show off and display your lovely art. You get the little ribbons and your victory points, and the person at the end of the game with the most ribbons wins. It's a pretty nice chill game. It's really fun. We loved to spend a little extra time role playing and explaining the depth of our art. And it's lovely. Great pictures and photographic moments to be had with this game.
Yeah, and I knew as soon as you stared playing this, you were fell in love with this game.
Yeah, it's so much fun to play with those.
That's a good one. All right, on to number 2. This is where I was kind of shocked. So my number 2 is Picture Perfect.
Wow, you really liked this one.
I really like Picture Perfect. And what's funny is I thought we liked it about the same, but apparently I like it a lot more than she does. I just love this game. I don't know why. I love the negotiation and the auction and the bidding and the back and forth play and designing your little picture by putting your little standees and designing the perfect little picture. Oh, I thought when I bought this game a while back, and I thought for sure Rebecca was going to. I got it for Rebecca. I didn't get it for me. Apparently now I've gotten the game for me because I really enjoyed that. I mean, I would not play it without the advanced, all the different auctions. I think there's an advanced version where you do bidding and stuff like that. I would never play without that. That's half the fun is the bidding on the different
But
things.
if you're introducing someone to that game for the first time that has never played something like that, it'd be really easy to take that out and show them the game and then introduce the bidding later, which is something that I really love about that too. It's got like 2 levels to it.
Yeah, the base level is kind of straightforward auctions, or it's like maybe not even auctions, it's just exchanging stuff. And the other, the more advanced version, you shuffle in some bidding cards. So
it's funny.
You use items for bidding. At the end of the game, those items are worth points. So when you're bidding on things, you're actually giving points away to do it. So love Picture Perfect. I want to play it again, like right now.
That's awesome. So my number 2, I apparently liked even more than you, which is amazing because you really liked this game. And it's the roll and write that is Hadrian's Wall. It's funny we have an overlap with this. Normally, Hunter doesn't like roll and writes at all and doesn't want to try them. So at first when we open it up and he's like, oh, it's roll and write. But we got into this game and it is fantastic. And I like some roll and rides. I don't know. But this one doesn't have the lightness of a regular roll and write, and it's got a lot of chaining of things. Like he was talking about, you have these different colored meeples that will unlock different things for you. So you're going to be trading those, and it's open up this, which then unlocks this, and next thing you know, you're doing this, and it helps you defend your wall here, which will unlock this. And I mean, you're bouncing all over the board. The teach for this takes a little bit longer because it's so compact, just how many layers of items and categories and different things that you're doing in order to defend your wall and build your wall. But it's so worth it because as soon as you get done, you want to play it again. And since it plays in under an hour, that's really easy to do. Right. So awesome. Highly recommend this game. I love it.
I think we like it so much because it really feels like a heavy Euro game in a way.
It does, and it's just it's a nice little box. It's not this big, huge production or anything, right? And that's a lot of fun. Something to keep in mind. If you don't like games with a lot of bits and stuff, this is a great game for you because it's so simplistic look. I love it. It's absolutely amazing. This was a winner.
Good one.
And what's your number one? Your absolute
number
favorite.
one. What is my number one?
What is your number one?
My number one is Furnace.
You did like that game.
I really liked Furnace. It's another one I was pleasantly surprised. It's one that I kind of got us to play because I figured Rebecca would like it.
I do.
And apparently I really liked it. I was shocked. I'm not usually a big card game person, but this thing has some things that I love. I love the bidding system in this game. Basically, you're drafting cards, but you do that you have bidding discs that number 1 to 4, and you're bidding on these different cards. And even if you don't win the card, you get a benefit even if you lose the bid. And then you take those cards and you're building a massive engine and you're firing off all your cards. So the first round you only have a few cards, but then the next round you got more cards and then more cards, and you're building this massive engine of all these cards. You're firing off some cards, they use those resources to do other cards, and you're doing all these combos, and it's just crazy, crazy fun. On top of all that, everyone has a unique superpower that it greatly changes how you play the game. It gives you kind of you break the rules in some way on how you're bidding, or you get an extra bidding token or something like that. Each of them have a different superpower, which I love. Really, really great game. I was pleasantly surprised. This is 2 in a row. Well, not 2 in a row, but Hadrian's Wall and this one are both ones I thought she would like, and I ended up liking quite a bit. So both of those were pleasant surprises. I guess Picture Perfect too. So my top 3 are all surprises.
That's pretty impressive.
That's surprising.
That's a good year. That's a lot of surprise.
That is a lot of surprise.
Well, my number one is probably no surprise to anybody that knows me whatsoever because it is Floriferous. I loved Herbaceous. Still love Herbaceous. And Floriferous is just another extension of that love. It is gorgeous art, fun gameplay, quick game time, easy teach. It's got all of the things. And like you said, you're drafting from this grid. You're trying to collect sets and score these points. And I just love it. I mean, it's one of those that it's got that simplistic, not simplistic really, but very uncomplicated, we'll just say, like gameplay. It's something that's really easy to teach to a lot of people. So it's a relaxing game. It's not got a lot of that tension to it. If you just want to relax and play a fun game that doesn't take a long time, you're not going to be burdened with a lot of pieces or a lot of heavy teaching. This is a fantastic game. It's just gorgeous to look at. You love collecting your little flowers. You get your cup of tea if you get finished first. It's just lovely, lovely game. He's already talked about it a lot, so I won't repeat all of it, but get
It's a good one. Yeah, as soon as I saw this game, I knew that you would love it.
Yeah, it's just absolutely, it's stunning. It's beautiful, and it's another one of those that just a little box that packs a wallop. I love it.
And it's different enough from Herbaceous to want having both.
Absolutely.
Well, that's it. That is our top 10. I don't know how many games you got out of that. You probably got like 15.
At least.
Our top
That's a lot
10
of games to start with.
2021 games. We're calling short games. Games you can play in under an hour.
1 hour.
We'll see you next time.
everybody, I'm Tom Vassell, and today we're taking a look at the 10 best expansions for 2021. Now, really, this is a harder list to do than most because a lot of expansions come out over the course of the year, but they don't get played as much as base games do. So these are just my favorite expansions that have come out over the course of the year. And if you have ones that you think are better or greater, mention them in the comments. But here we go. Here are my 10 favorite expansions that came out in 2021. So first of all, number 10 is Fantasy Realms Cursed Horde. Now, I like Fantasy Realms. It's a very simple game in which you are basically drafting a hand of cards that are all worth points, but they all score points in different ways. This one will score points if it's with this card. This scores points for every dragon that you've gotten. There's different kinds of cards. It's really simple and easy. They reprinted it this year. Huzzah! The Cursed Hordes adds an extra set of cards that you can get in this game. So that's two things. It adds more cards to the base set. That's fine. It doesn't overwhelm the base set. Just add some more cards, some more types of cards to this that you can collect for points. But it also adds these Cursed Horde cards, which you can play with or not. I would usually use it maybe in half the games because it adds a little bit more complexity, but cards that will give you special abilities you can use at the cost of points at the end of the game. But those special abilities, sometimes you lose a lot of points for it, but it might be a really powerful ability like take any card I want from the middle of the table and add it to my hand. So it's a nice idea, and in Fantasy Realms, you might have gotten tired of it. This will kind of breathe some new life into it, but it has two distinct parts that it adds, and I think they're both worth it, although the more cards, I'll always play with those. So Fantasy Realms, Cursed Horde. Number 9 is Destiny's Sea of Sand. Now, Destiny's actually had 2 expansions come out this year. The second one, as of me recording this, I haven't played yet. It just came out, and I want to try it out with mythological stuff. Now, the Sea of Sand, so Destiny's is a game where you go through and do things. I almost didn't want to play through Sea of Sand because the first mission of it is okay theme-wise, but it gets better and better, and the final one is just so fantastic as you're going around in sand dunes and there's a giant djinn out there that you have to fight and all sorts of things. So it's really interesting to see how they took this system and took it out of Europe and then put it into the Middle East and go around and see all this cool stuff, and I like it a lot. That's Destiny's Sea of Sand. Number 8 is Combopolis. It's a weird name, but Combopolis is just a mini card expansion that lets you combine Agropolis and Sprawlopolis. Sprawlopolis is a game that came out a few years ago. Agropolis came out this year. They're the same thing. They're a 1 or more player game. I play them solo, where you're building a city. All right, 18 cards each. Now, I have 2 18 card each games. You take some cards from each one, put them together with the cards from Combopolis, and build it. It's a simple, little fun thing. Silly, but adds so much more to these games. You can play these games forever and ever. I like it a lot. Number 7 is Sleeping Gods Dungeons. So this came out basically the same time as Sleeping Gods, but I didn't play it right away. But so Sleeping Gods is this big, giant open world where you're going around on your ship trying to discover stuff, go over here, do this, find this, go to this spot, adventures. You'll never see everything in this game likely unless you play it many times. I played through a full campaign of this, 17 hours, and we saw just a fraction of the game. But then you add in these dungeons, and these dungeons are placed at various spots. You go to that dungeon, and it adds even more. You go into that dungeon for more storylines, more stuff going on. But that integrates pretty easily because these dungeons are just at various spots on the board. If you don't play with this expansion, they're not there. If you do, they show up. So, Sleeping Gods Dungeons. Number 6 is Quaxaquedlinburg Alchemists. Quaxaquedlinburg, this is the second expansion for this, and in this game, it essentially gives each player kind of a unique power. At the beginning of the game, they'll say, here's the different people you're trying to heal. And so when you play through this game, you're going to pick one of them at the beginning, and then depending on the number of different colors you pull from your bag, you will then get special abilities at the end of a round. I really like this. I don't want to play with it in every Quacks game, and I don't think I would play with it for people who never played Quacks before. But if you have, I like this expansion a lot. I think I like it better than the first expansion. So Quaxaquedlinburg Alchemists. Number 5 is Aquatica Cold Waters. Well, Aquatica, fantastic game. I really like this game a lot. And Cold Waters just adds more stuff. It adds a 5th player. I don't really care about that, but adding more cards, adding a different player that you can play, and then different ways to manipulate the cards and different abilities. Fantastic. It's a simple expansion that you can throw in. The biggest thing that this does is it adds more character cards in the game. And I thought the character cards, you know, there's a certain amount of them. Now there's like double that amount. And I think that just adds more variety when you're recruiting them to play from your hand. So if you like Aquatica and you want an expansion that's essentially more stuff, this is a good one. Number 4 is Nidavellir Thingavelier. So Nidavellir, just one of the best games ever made. In the Nidavellir, where it's kind of like an auction game where you're just collecting dwarves and sets, but the way you do so, it's one of my most played games this year. Thingavelier adds to that, when you play cards or when you play these coins and collect things, the winner of an auction gets to go to a special inn where they can get mercenary cards, which count as a dwarf of different colors, or you can get unique items, which are pretty powerful items that give you special abilities or ways to score points. Again, this is not an expansion I'm going to play with every time, but it is one that's easy to put in the game. I have it in my base box, just in an envelope, a plastic bag. I can pull it out and play with it. The mercenaries are fun. The extra stuff is fun. It just adds a little bit of extra stuff to the game without overwhelming the experience. Number 3 is Sinister 6 expansion for Marvel United. And I had to think here because when I was going through this list, I said all these different expansions because I got everything for Marvel United this year. And you can just put that here as number 3, really. The Sinister 6 is the best of the lot, but just having this plethora of stuff and I played all of it. I don't normally play everything for a game, but I did when it came to Marvel United. But Sinister 6, Marvel United, most of the time you have a bunch of heroes against a villain in a cooperative game. In Sinister 6, there are 6 villains. You're fighting the Sinister 6, and you have to figure out which ones to beat because you're fighting all of them at the same time, and as you beat them, the other villains get angrier and move around more, but you also get rid of that annoying, devastating special ability that one has. It's my favorite way to play Marvel United. Number 2 are the expansions for Fantastic Factories. There's the munitions expansion, we'll just take that. I wouldn't put that on this list. But the other expansion, what adds in ways to manipulate the dice. It's more cards, more stuff, special abilities. For the characters. And this is one that I'll always play with, and this is one that I will add to people's. If you never played before, we'll play with everything from Fantastic Factories. Here's Fantastic Factories with everything thrown in. So, huzzah, Fantastic Factories. And number 1 is Rise of Ix. This is for Dune Imperium. Now, I know some of you at this point in time are saying, what about the Lost Ruins of Arnak? Well, as of you seeing this, I've played that expansion, but at this point in time, I haven't played that one yet. That's why it hasn't made the list. But I did play the Rise of Ix expansion for Dune Imperium. I'll always play with it, always. It adds dreadnoughts, which are cool. It adds techs, which are really cool. It adds more characters. It adds more cards. That's my second favorite part of this expansion. Just tons of cards. My favorite part of this expansion is, though, adding this trading track where you move this token up, and you can pull it back anytime you want and get all the resources from it, a lot of resources, or you can move it up farther on the track. It's very simple, but it took away some of the boring spots for me on the board and replaced them. That plus the more cards, plus the dreadnoughts, made this whole thing just work really well for me. It's an expansion I'll always play for, the Rise of Ix for Dune Imperium. So like I said, those are my favorite expansions that came out over the course of this year. What are yours? Tell me in the comments. Until then, I'm Tom Bassel, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. Welcome back here to the studio. I'm Tom Bassel.
I'm Wendy Yee.
I'm the podfather of gaming, Stephen Bonner.
You were so good earlier. Alrighty. Anyhow, we are now playing a game called PicTwist National Parks Edition. I've not played any of the PicTwist, so this is the only edition of this we've played. We want to be clear here that there's a missing component as we play this game. There's some nice frames that came with the game that the people who punched the game out probably threw those frames away. That could have been anybody. Definitely last names weren't Vassals.
No, they were not.
Definitely not.
So,
It was not Bonacor either.
in this game, we each have a picture. But before we show you this picture, let's talk about a contest. You can enter this a contest to win a copy of this game, PicTwist, and all you have to do is email us at contest@dicetower.com. In the subject line of that email, put the word twist, as in, and shout.
Oh,
Right?
that's not bad.
It is not
There we
bad.
go.
It's also a great song. Anyway, twist, and we will see which of you wins that contest. You have up to the end of the year to enter. Welcome. All right, so we have these pictures. There's some nice pictures here. You can see.
Should I do this?
You can do that.
If you like.
Did you see it do nothing? The green screen.
There's nothing.
Take it off there.
Take it off.
He said we weren't.
All right, don't worry about it. Okay, he said take it off. All right, so we have the picture
Causing problems.
next to a kind of a slide puzzle thing of our picture, and now you've thrown off the boringness of the whole thing here.
Let me see if I can.
Should I put my hand or on a card over there? Would that help?
That's not helping. Okay, hold on.
Also, this is not Goonies, and it's not spoilers.
Yeah.
Oh, it says warning spoilers. Nope, not Goonies.
Seemed to get you.
Sorry about the lack of professionalism in the studio today. And
Well, it's mostly because Mr. Bonacore.
Yeah, I was like, there's a special ghost
mostly
here. No.
because of me.
So while we're changing a few things
do you-
here, this is On the Fly Live, and now it's.
Look
They
at
couldn't
that.
see your shoes.
They couldn't see.
They did not see
They did
Roy.
not see Roy standing on the table.
Roy
All right.
stood on
So
the
if you
table.
look here, you can see there's two pictures. You see Wendy has the nice pictures like that, and then we have the picture next to it. And what we're going to do here is we're going to pick this and we're going to shuffle and we're going to rotate them. But look at the pictures. You know, it looks like rotating matters now, but this is how they initially look. So now we're going to rotate them, mix them up.
We are going to rotate these things into any
Don't flip them over. That's the
Right.
most important thing.
So they should be in all different places.
That's correct.
All right.
Well, they don't have to be in different places.
Well,
They just-
but
they
that's
could be in the
kind-
same place. That would be weird.
So you didn't.
And once you do that, then put the picture on top like this.
put them back.
Yep.
All right.
Woo.
All right. All right.
And now everyone moves
perfect.
one seat to the left
Why do I do that?
because it's a hokey pokey.
Do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself
I
around.
was comfortable.
Move over.
I have. This is not part of the game. There's no way this is part of the game.
It's definitely part
It
of
is
the game.
part of the game. I read the rules.
Are you serious?
It's easier to do that than it is to
Then,
move
like,
the puzzle
awkwardly
pieces.
move.
Oh,
So now put your picture next. This is what you're trying to do,
Oh man.
and that's what you have. Now,
This
what
is
we're
really
doing
pretty.
here, and folks, this is where there would be a frame here, but we're just going to make an imaginary frame. We're going to be putting these cards, you have a set of cards, and you're going to put these different cards in the different spots in this frame, in this 3x3 grid here.
Okay.
Like this. You're going to pick where they go, not randomly put them out like you're doing.
Oh, okay. I should.
Okay.
I should.
So, let's talk about what the different cards do.
Let's do that.
That's a good idea.
All right, so I'm going to stick them here in the middle of the table, and then you can see these pretty easily here. So we have green cards. Green cards just let you rotate a tile 90 degrees. So if I put this green card here like this, that means I'm going to rotate this tile one space like that. I don't have to, though, because you conveniently left this one perfectly where it's supposed to be.
Well, it was totally random. though.
I know, but I'm very appreciative of that.
Really screwed that one up.
There we go.
This,
All right, so this just rotates a tile.
Yep, this one here rotates 180 degrees.
Perfect.
Okay, and you can put these, you know.
Now I can do that. Well, we're gonna do it.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Blues let you swap a tile. So these cards here let you swap two tiles that are next to each other, or diagonally next to each other.
Got it.
Or across the board from each other.
Got it.
Or that are diagonally across from each other. And this,
What is this like one space apart? Like it has to be
this would
exactly.
switch these
okay,
two.
because there are only 3 spaces. So right. Got it.
and then this slides a column over, or a row over a column, however you have it on it.
Like that?
And then you popped it off. So I will slide over and put up.
Okay.
But the red cards are the best.
The
This let
best.
you place it in the right place, swapping places with the tile there. No rotations allowed. So you can move a tile from one spot to another spot. That's basically it. So if I have this here, I can put this tile somewhere else, but I can't rotate it.
Anywhere you want.
Yes,
And
this
you-
is the best card of all. It lets you put someone else and rotate it.
Got
Wait.
it.
And you just swap it with the one that was there, right?
Yes, but the one that it's there cannot be rotated.
Right,
Only
so
the
I
one
can
that you're
take this- Only
moving
the
can
one
be
you're moving.
rotated.
Take this, rotate it anyway. This one comes directly like that.
Okay.
Now, we're all doing this at the same time. We'll say 1, 2, 3, go. And technically, that's when we would remove our picture. So put the picture
Okay.
back. So
Oh,
you
I'm
can't
cheating.
you can't plan ahead of time.
Cheating.
We're gonna remove the picture.
Yeah.
We're going to start placing these cards out.
So
as soon as someone thinks that they're happy with the way their cards are out, they'll flip this timer, which will give 30 seconds to everybody else. Then when we're done, one at a time, we're going to watch Wendy do okay, me not so great, and you totally flub this up since you can't take a picture from the right direction and picture perfect.
I think you have this wrong. It's just to be terrible.
I was trying to be...
But I'm literally putting these now out somewhat randomly. I guess there's some strategy.
No. When I say go, we're going to take the picture off and look at it.
Okay, got
It's so that you can't be thinking now while I'm doing the rules thing.
Got it.
Then we're going to do that. We're going to move the stuff, and we keep going. And if someone's finished, they win. Otherwise, we start again. But red cards can only be used once per game. Those are discarded when you use them.
Oh, once they're gone, they're gone.
Yep.
Oh, but they're so nice.
They're very powerful.
So I'm going to put the grid there. Then I'm going to start taking those actions with those pieces.
Yeah, we're going to
there.
go one at a time. Be like, okay, you did a rotate here. You did this. You switched these two.
Can you put more than one card on the same spot? Like I want to rotate it and I want to
don't
switch it?
believe so.
So you have to make a 9x9
And your
grid.
cards are going to go from 1 to 9. So if you switch 2 and then rotate, consider
Oh,
how
so
that's
you're
going to be.
doing it-
You're going to go 1, 2, 3,
and
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Okay, so it's like programmed across.
Yes.
Got it.
Wow. So you and then and you're going to do all 9, or you're going to do 1? I'm going to do 1 like that.
No, we'll go through each person's thing 1 through 9.
Is
Wow.
it just one round and we're done?
No, we're going to go so someone finishes their picture.
Until someone finishes
Okay,
this
so we
picture.
keep going. Okay.
So 3 hours from
Which
now.
I think this will take me approximately 3 hours. I think that's
There's going to
about
be a
right.
lot of putting stuff right back where it came
Wow.
Okay, are you
Okay.
ready?
Woo.
I deliberately picked this game.
to drive me mad.
Ready, set, go.
from. Go. Ah, all
Okay.
right, this needs to be...
Oh, this is going to be absolutely thrilling for you all to
Oh yeah, this is good. This is
hear.
great to watch. This is great TV. This makes such good TV.
Can this one be done backwards? Like, can I do it that way?
I
that
think
it
so,
rotates
yes.
together? Okay.
Oh yeah, so you can put them backwards. I like that idea. I support that idea.
This one needs to go here.
And
Oh, man.
then
You're not a terrible person, Mr. Bonnegar.
I don't know what I did.
That was a compliment.
My brain has already
I'm
exploded.
very appreciative of a lot of things you've done.
This is
Oh my
diagonalized. This one needs to come
And
down
then
here.
that one is gonna. No, I just need to
Okay.
move it. How about I
That
swap it?
one's
That's the one I
going
want.
there.
Then I want to
It's going there. Then I want
swap it.
this one to go
Well, chat, we'll play a game
here.
with you while you're in here. What's your favorite national park? Of all the national parks, which one's your favorite? Hopefully you've been to one of them. I'm doing Arches National Park, and Mr. Bonnegar, what are you doing?
I'm doing Virgin Islands National Park.
Have you been there?
I've been to the Virgin Islands. I don't know if I've been to their national park.
What's yours,
I
Wendy?
assume it's Yosemite. I don't know.
It says in
It
the
says it
bottom
right there in the
corner.
bottom.
Oh, hey, Yellowstone.
Yellowstone, yeah. Same.
It's really pretty.
Yellowstone I've not been to. I want to be to. That's like on my bucket list.
Oh, that one's in the right place.
Red Rock is my like hometown national park. It's small, but it's cool. In fact, coming here, the Everglades was way bigger than I imagined because I'd been to Red Rock and I'd been to Zion, but Zion's big too. But
30 seconds.
oh man,
Oh,
I'm
you
failing.
really-
No. I can't do much
Failing.
more. I'm going to do a few things.
I don't know what
just
I'm doing.
You just.
Let's see what people are talking about with the national parks. Gettysburg? Gettysburg's not a national park. Look, I like Gettysburg. I think it's fantastic, but it's not a national park. National Military Park? Yeah, but that's not one of the national parks. Arches
Does this mean
is
what does this mean?
amazing.
I gotta just put things down here.
No, you don't. No, look what I did. Look.
Oh, you don't have to.
Yeah, no, you don't have
Oh, I
to.
gotta have to put them all down. Oh my god, that's so funny.
Your thing would be like,
Yes.
I'm never going to do
This one
this.
has to stay there. Done.
Okay.
All right. So here we go.
Thought I had to do one. Man, you explaining is terrible. Anyway, go ahead.
All right, so we're going to do mine first since I finished here. So 1, nothing. This one, rotate it this way.
Oh, that was the second. Yep, okay. I put mine closer.
Okay? So I'm just going to take them off as I do them. Here, push the whole row over.
Oh, okay. Oh my. This makes it a little easier.
Yeah.
Okay? Here, rotate this 180 degrees.
Bum, bum, bum.
Here, switch these two without rotating them. Am I done? No.
No.
But I got 2 tiles in the right place.
One you automatically had.
Shut up, I worked to get that.
So this first one, I do that, right? That's
That's correct.
Push the whole thing. This one, I turn this guy like that.
By the way, we're definitely playing that your picture has to face you. You can't build it sideways and be like, look,
It's done.
No, it's for the camera, like in Picture Perfect.
the camera.
Yeah, if anybody
You know,
wants to see me really make fun of myself, make a fool of myself, watch the Picture Perfect one we did at the Autumn Spectacular.
I really think that's the
Or
expert
you can
mode.
wait to our best of moments at the end of the show.
Okay, that one rotated, and then this one does.
You're switching those two.
These two just switch. Oh, not bad. Okay.
Wendy put out the most
All
tiles.
right.
Maybe she's gonna win.
No, I put this one out wrong for sure. Okay, these ones swap. Y'all can't see my things, but I promise I'm trying to do it right. Okay, this goes here. Those swap. This one flips upside down.
No, we can. Roy, just slide the national parks thing over to the middle.
Look at Roy. He's amazing.
This
Look at him go.
one is switching with this one. This one is turned the wrong way, so now it's upside down.
Perfect.
Yeah. This one goes this way. All
Are
right.
you done?
Done.
No, nobody could possibly be done.
You know, there's probably someone who could do it.
I have one in the right place.
I think it might. No, I think it's actually physically just can't happen. Because you have something in the right place, you have to make sure you never touch it. Essentially.
Yeah, but it's like those slide puzzles.
It could
if you
go
ever
this
play
way and
those,
then
you
that
have
way.
to slide it out to get another one in the spot sometimes.
Yep.
I've never completed one of those slide puzzles.
I'm actually really good at those. The 16 grid
Oh, really?
ones.
Oh,
Yeah.
you'll be great
When I was a
at
kid,
this.
I was really good at that.
I got really good too.
No.
Yeah.
I've never been able to complete one.
Once you get a hang of it.
Ever. I give
You're
up.
gonna
I give up
lose.
in like 2 minutes.
You're gonna lose this game.
I'm gonna lose so
I haven't
bad.
done one, I think, since I was 10 years old. That was good back then.
Yeah.
All right,
1920.
let's.
Round 2.
Ready, set.
Oh, I gotta do this again. Okay.
You didn't win yet.
I know.
Ready, set, go. The problem I have is I got to figure out where the things actually go.
Right. All right. This one needs.
Then.
This one needs to go all the way
Stop
there.
with the clicking of the mouth.
I'm sorry.
This one.
I can't tell if this one's right or wrong.
So. No, slide.
Let's just fix that one because that was a mistake. Diagonal.
Alright, so this is swap. Do I want to do that? No, I'll do that.
Swap that one and that one. Done.
No, that's bad.
I want to
Swap.
rotate first and then swap. I think.
Okay, so will you please stop with the thing?
Again?
No, I only
Already?
did 3. That's all I can do.
You're such a jerk.
No.
I accept that.
Time.
This one I have to go
almost
this way
up.
with,
This one will
and
go
then later
here.
I'll do that, and then. Oh, I'm really
Nope.
bad at this.
Nope, that's not what I want. Nah,
That's gonna start going that way. Do I have one that?
I'm gonna do that.
Yes, then I could
Maybe.
do that
Oh,
later.
but that's in the right spot.
I think that no, I can't. Can I?
But remember,
No.
when you have one tile stuck in the wrong place, you can always use the red thing to get it out.
That's
right. Right. Okay. Oh, 3 only. Okay. So.
All right, you go first.
Okay. So this one turns. It's not quite in the right place. This one changes with this one. That's what I was trying to do. Hopefully that's right. This one changes with this one.
Yes.
It doesn't
Wait,
look-
did you just rotate it?
No, I did not. No, I did that.
Okay.
No, I didn't. I swear. And then this one rotates.
No rotation.
What? What's going on?
Nothing. I
Roy's-
thought you rotated that. I thought this one here was sideways. And it
No,
looked
I
like-
didn't.
Okay.
Well, I don't think I did. If I did, well, I
Joseph
cheated.
thinks that Rubik's Cubes are easy.
No, I didn't. Go to the videotape. Anyway. No, he's gonna show me.
Instant
Put it back.
replay.
No, don't do an instant replay. I'll just put it back. I trust you.
This is how it was a second ago.
Oh, okay. That sucks. All right, so it's this way. Thanks, Roy. Actually, it's better that it comes out that way.
Good job, Roy.
All
Thank
right.
you, Roy.
I just immediately pulled up the YouTube thing on my phone.
That is so funny.
All right, well, this is in the right place, but I'm messed up, and this is now in the wrong place. This is flipping 180. These are going to switch.
Oh, that was good.
And this is now face up, I think.
All right.
Hey.
Moving down. This one here. Oh, I put that in the wrong spot. Well, my fault.
Oh, I'm sorry.
This one rotates this way. And then everything slides down one. Oh, actually, I didn't do this. That switches with this.
I think
All right.
mine looks more messed up than it was initially.
All right.
Yeah.
Call it.
Go.
Go. Okay.
Diagonal. What did I want? I want this one.
No.
Here.
These
That'll go
two
there.
swap.
This will go here.
Those two.
These,
Oh, we don't have one of those?
these two.
That means you have to swap like oh, that sucks.
That needs to go after those swap, then that needs to go that way. Okay. Then I think very last.
That's good.
I want to go this way.
Yes. I think that's good. Wait a minute, I screwed something up.
Yeah, you did. You're terrible. No one likes you.
Really terrible.
I hate you.
Nobody likes you. You're a totally human being, and nobody likes you.
I think.
Um,
I can't tell if these trees align. I think they don't. I think this might be a mistake.
this one
Wendy, people want to know if you can put your
This
picture up
one
so people can see what the goal
has to
is.
swap.
Oh, yeah. Let's do it. That's the goal. Lots of trees. All right. I think that's what we got.
I stink. All right.
We're just watching the time. All right. I think if we're all done,
all
we can
given
call it.
up.
No, Wendy's first this time.
Okay, all right. These are flipping diagonally, switching, swapping. This is going to rotate 90 degrees. This right here, gonna hop like that, I think. Nope, that was totally wrong. I thought it was wrong. Okay.
Oh, that's why I.
This is gonna swap like this. And this is gonna go like that. Ooh, that
Oh,
was,
yours is starting to come together.
it's doing something.
Oh.
All
With
right.
layers.
I'm in pain.
This one rotates. These two flippity flop. Nothing. This one goes upside down. And this one I can put wherever I want, and I'm putting it over here.
Oh, did you finish?
No, I did not.
Close.
And this red
Alright.
card's out now.
This one moves these two, and I won't rotate anything. This one rotates this guy, and this one dumbly does this, slides this like this, which is not a good move.
You got some pieces together.
Got
that
some
nice
together.
little corner.
Got some.
It's looking really good.
Yeah.
You're doing
Progress.
good, buddy.
Thank you, Dad.
All right, we ready?
Are we ready? Wait, you looking at the comments?
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, I'll accept the thing on Gettysburg. Gettysburg's a great place to go. You should go to Gettysburg if you can get a chance.
Never been to Gettysburg.
I've never been to Gettysburg.
Colonial
I've been-
Williamsburg is my jam as far as like
yeah.
that American history. I think.
Yeah, but
they
Gettysburg,
saw
when you're
that.
there, you're like, man, they fought a battle here. It looks like it was made for a battlefield.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
It's really
Very
I've been to
cool.
Antietam, but I've not been to Gettysburg.
Antietam. Where's that?
It is in Cumberland, Maryland.
Maryland.
Yeah.
I didn't want to say it to sound dumb, but yes, I got it.
Yep.
Maryland.
Wow, I'm not insulting an entire state here.
No, because I didn't know that was right.
It's a very merry land.
All right, oh yeah.
Socializing
did you do
here
yours?
is not
All right,
fun.
let's flip it.
Okay, let's
Oh,
go.
no, let's not flip it. Go.
Ready? Go. Okay. Oh, I have to remember what I was doing.
All right, I'm gonna do.
That was there. Oh, I think I want this like on every
Okay,
row.
that's a really good one.
This is
I
this.
put this here.
What?
I can move it and
Goes
flip it.
where? Those. Does this line up? Is that the right tree? I can't tell. No, this is.
Oh my God.
This is supposed to go there. Opposite. Is that it?
Are you done one tile?
Yes.
I think that's it. This goes. They all rotate.
But you can't rotate both of them, only one.
This.
Right, that goes there. This goes there. Done.
Nice.
Swap. We swap. And then this flips. I think I got it.
All right. Boom. All right, we're gonna have you go last. Go ahead, Wendy. You're first again.
Okay, this is actually in the middle. They always
We believe you.
We believe
Okay.
you.
believe
Unlike others, I did not
me.
believe.
These are swapping, and I'm really hoping that is right. Oh, I think I did it.
Oh, you did it. You did it.
I did it.
Wait.
I did it. I did it. I did it. Yes. Success.
Dong.
Got it.
So this one swings in.
I got it.
These two flip, and then this one swings like this, but you know what? It's upside down.
I can't
so
tell from
close.
here. Totally can't tell.
Oh, that's
from
true.
here.
No one can tell. These are the same.
He got it. Oh, and I just do this. I do a flip on this guy and a move with any tile, like this one, which doesn't flip.
And
This
then it's
goes
done?
here, and guess what, ladies and
Woo.
gentlemen? Pa-da-bum.
So you guys tied.
And yeah, there's like no way there could be a tiebreaker on this. Person who used the least on the last one.
If
I didn't
only
use
one,
any.
if several people did it, whoever has the most red cards that they
I
have
didn't
not
use
used
any.
wins.
The winner.
I
Have
didn't
you
use
used any?
I didn't use any.
Boom! I used
And
the
then if
one to
there's
do it.
then if there's still a tie, whoever used the fewer action cards, so then you would win the next tiebreaker.
On
Because
that
you
last
used one on the
one.
last
Yeah,
turn.
that makes sense.
And then if it's still a tie, whoever flipped the sand timer.
Oh, wow.
If it's still a tie, shake hands and play again. Wait,
Wait, no, but
it
you
wasn't
won.
a tie.
You won. We'll shake hands anyway.
That's actually really
Too many
cute.
tiebreakers.
It was once you start moving to pieces,
You start getting the
it gets
ideas.
easier.
Yeah. It
So-
does. It really showed out. It really, visually, I could see it.
Yeah.
So that's PicTwist, National Parks Edition. We'll do. We are coming back live at 12, but it's 11:27 here, so we'll have a few minutes here. If anyone has any questions for Mr. Bonnick or for Wendy.
Ooh, questions. Ask them questions.
Tom was robbed. Nope, Tom took too long.
Tom was awful at this
But you
game.
didn't catch me cheating over the course of the game, so there's that.
Vanessa, you would not be awful at this. At first, it looks like there's no way you're going to do it, but
Yours is way less clear
comes
what's up
together.
and down, though. Like my trees, I clearly know what the top
Yeah,
and the
but
bottom
I
of the
think
tree
It
is.
had to be like this.
Yeah.
it's a little unclear
Well,
there.
they
This
said
was
if you want to
easy.
play hard mode, you take the reference picture out.
Oh, I couldn't do it.
Then it becomes ridiculous.
Like if you're playing, if I was playing one of my kids,
Yeah.
I would do that. They get the picture, I
Oh,
don't.
yeah, that'd be good.
Oh, that makes sense.
That evens it
Yeah.
out.
I like it. I like it.
This means Tom mixes up the best at the start. No, because I didn't mix mine up.
No, I mixed it up, and I gave him an advantage by accident. One of his tiles was exactly the same.
Was none of yours in the position?
was
No,
right
not a
spot.
not a single
No,
one
mine
was
are
in
all messed
position.
up.
Yes, this game is available from the op.
The op, yes.
It's PicTwist.
PicTwist.
And since it says PicTwist National Parks Edition, that makes me assume there's multiple of this thing.
PicTwist.
The artwork's pretty. Well,
yes.
it's pictures of
It's
the
gotta
park.
be. It better be pretty.
Did they not have the Everglades in here? That saddens me. Everglades.
So
Grand Canyon.
I don't know.
So the backs of the tiles and the backs of these come with. I don't know if you want to put. Nah, it doesn't
You know, I've
matter.
never heard of Olympic National Park. Where's that?
Probably in
Washington, I would assume.
Yes.
It's pretty.
Death Valley National Park, Virgin
Okay.
Islands National Park. You had Yosemite and
Yep,
Olympic.
the app says it's available now. You can grab a copy
No,
on their
Yellowstone.
website. Did we finish the Goonies last night? No. I had to drag Bonniger away from the
I
table.
really wanted to finish the Goonies and spoil it for every person out there, but Tom wouldn't let me.
There's a Bob Ross edition. Okay, that'd be cool.
Of this?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
that
yeah,
is
yeah.
adorable. I
I
like
think
that.
David's asking me, not Camilla, but he asked if I've ever made it to Harper's Ferry. No, I've heard of it, but I didn't ever make it there.
Where is Harper's
In
Ferry? Is
Foundations
that Virginia?
I think so.
To the building secure to the.
I served a mission for my church in Maryland, West Virginia kind of area.
Oh, during the
so
game,
it was moved
they-
around a lot.
So the Peter Fulford asks about do the buildings secure to the board
When you place them down. The answer is no, but they're so.
it's so obvious and easy.
It's not. That board's not going to get shaken. That
No,
much.
you can't really
Not
share unless you have a real table that'll just no. It's in your tray, in your own player tray. Every one of the pieces has a secure location for it, and they go back to that exact location when you clean up, or when sometimes you just bring them back. So sometimes you place a building, and you will change it out with something else.
Yes, I know my bottom
That
middle
works.
is upside down. That's why I.
Anybody else?
That's why I lost.
West Virginia, okay.
The movie spoils that game, Steven.
Well, yeah,
Like
but
Simon
there's
says.
things in that game that we were doing, like mixing the wires and things. That's not in the movie. It doesn't show you how to get to the puzzles.
All right.
So Harper's Ferry is in West Virginia on the border of Virginia, Maryland, and West Virginia. Is like
Everything in Maryland is on the border with something.
that's
that true?
accurate.
Who
Who
wins
wins
more?
more, me or Chris? Ooh, it's pretty equal.
Wow.
It's pretty equal, yeah. There's stuff that Chris is a little bit better at than me, and stuff that I'm a little bit better at than him.
Oh, look at Vanessa's
Yeah.
question. I will let you answer that.
Vanessa, Steven, what kind of car did you recently buy that Tom gives you grief for? It's a 2021 C8 Corvette convertible in Accelerate Yellow, and it's beautiful.
It is.
Accelerate yellow.
It's called Accelerate.
Here's
Is
the
there
deal.
slow down yellow?
When I walk out in the brightest suit and tie I have,
That
and I
car
get
is
near his
brighter.
car, it's like I'm going to a funeral. That car is that bright.
He's bright.
It's beautiful. Thank you, Vanessa, for bringing that up. I have it here to torture Tom with right now.
Oh, that's a good question. What board game tables do you guys have at home?
We actually have an IKEA hack. So we basically like pulled apart an IKEA and we added in our own recessed
We can buy
area.
a IKEA hack online.
Yeah.
I like
And
it.
then we have one of those table toppers that we got from here.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we have
Yeah.
tabletopper.
So we have a game room, and then our kitchen table is the like you can remove the tops, and so we leave games up long term there, like Gloomhaven and whatever those longer ones, and then in our game room is our regular rotating through games.
So you actually know this about me because I recently sold my game table, the Duchess, that one that they had on Kickstarter from BoardGameTables.com. I got rid of that because I'm bringing in a game theory table, which is spectacular. I saw them in person. That's that new company. They did a Kickstarter, did, I don't know, a lot of money on that. I did not back it on Kickstarter.
That's one owned by Panda.
I don't think it's owned by Panda, but I think they're part of the production. I don't know. I don't think it's owned by Panda. But they're really unbelievable, very modern looking tables. And we have a modern aesthetic in the house. We've just been doing remodeling.
How many speeding tickets have you got since you got the new car?
Not had any speeding tickets, and I will not get any speeding tickets.
Oh, the
Not here in
contest to win
Florida.
Stephen's car. So email us
Exactly.
at contest@dicediner.com. Keyword ego. All right.
Oh, you're such...
The winner gets the card from Stephen, but you have to steal it from him. That's on top of that. Please don't send those in. I don't want any.
No,
we don't want any of
Why
that.
are these contest entries showing up with ego?
That's so funny.
All right, folks. We're gonna take a small break here for lunch. We'll be back at noon, and we're gonna be playing Rise of Necromancers. Is that what it's called, right?
Yes.
Rise of
Yeah.
Necromancers.
Never played that either.
And then at 2, we got Wendy, Chris, Roy, and Camilla. Their top 10 of 2021. I don't even know what they are yet.
Big moments
Very
here,
interested
big
in
moments.
this.
Big moment.
It's very exciting. More to come. Until next time, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Wendy Yee.
And I'm Stephen Bonacor.
Have fun sorting pictures out.